So today I saw my therapist, and we had a really good session, just kind of reassessing just where I'm at in my journey of like healing and just, evolving during this time where I'm focusing more on self-care, self-love, and just finding out who I am and where, I'm at in my relationship with myself. I think that has been like a big challenge with me throughout my life is just kind of prioritizing just the relationship that I have with myself and seeing the value in that. I think just kind of reevaluating, you know, the type of feelings that I have for myself or just like who I am and being able to identify that is huge, especially in a time where you're healing and, going through the different stages of the trauma cycle, just kind of reassessing where you're at and how, your relationship with yourself really has affected that or has played a role. Um, Throughout your life. And I think that is huge in the sense that, like, I kind of lost myself throughout the time that I was in my relationship with my ex. Just kind of building that, security with him, kind of shed off a lot of the characteristics that I valued within myself. Or I kind of valued his opinion of me more than I valued my own opinion of myself. And I definitely was faced with a lot of difficult decisions on, whether to do what I like or to, do what he liked. And a lot of that kind of masked the individuality that I had with myself. Um, And I think he liked it that way. He liked to kind of take away that individuality, that independence that I've had that has gotten me to where I am now. He liked to kind of take control of that and be more in charge of, what I did and how I did it and whether I can do something or not. And that really impacted just, how I made decisions within my life. And I'm sure a lot of people can also relate with that, just kind of, with the intentions of, just want to make that person happy or build trust or build love and be, cared for. But at the same time, today my counselor kind of sat me down and was just like, look, you gotta kind of not always value other people's opinions over yourself and your own value of things. You gotta kind of reassess what you want and whether, that person is going to come to a compromise with you and accept that that's who you are, or they're going to not. And that's when, you draw the line. You can't just always be changing who you are to, meet another person's needs when they aren't doing anything in reciprocal. And, a lot of the times I did address that with my ex and kind of was verbal about that. And that's the time where I was shut down or not listened to, or, he was listening but not really hearing where I was coming from. And I guess that kind of built an insecurity in me of saying, like, oh, I shouldn't speak my voice or I shouldn't use my voice to speak my opinion because that's not going to, be accepted. But, one thing that really stuck with me today was my therapist was like, you need to identify who you are and be comfortable with that. And you need to learn to say no, when you're not comfortable and not be always trying to please somebody who isn't doing that in reciprocal. And I think that really is huge. And a lot of us who have, kind of been victim to abuse and just controlling relationships, we kind of lose ourselves in it and we, we just want to be the best we can for somebody else, and that we neglect what's best for us. So yeah, that's just like kind of where I'm at right now in my journey, just kind of figuring out who I am and what my interests are, where my opinions lie, and just, being that independent person that I know I am, and appreciating that and building that relationship with myself, so that in the future I don't just want to, I don't just fall victim to being controlled or being shaped and molded into something that I'm not, just for somebody else's pleasure. And yet, I'm not even focusing on my own needs. And in that, you start to lose who you are. So I think it's just important that we just identify, you know, who we are, what our interests are, where our opinions lie, and, what our beliefs are, and stay firm in that, and just, recognize the people in our lives that try to take that away or don't appreciate it, and just tell them no. So I just hope that, or challenge everyone who's watching just to build that with themselves. Start there, just identifying who they are, what their interests are, what their beliefs are, and standing firm in that, and not allowing people in your life to take control of that or to take that away from who you are and what you love. Um, Even if you have the greatest intentions, you got to have the best relationship with yourself, because ultimately that's the relationship that matters.